Hey everybody, Walter here with the Black Film Guild. Super excited to talk with you all about the mini documentary series. If you're watching this, you probably come to one of the workshops, and hopefully you're interested in conducting one of the mini documentaries. I recently put out the treatment to the mailing list, and I wanted to follow up with just giving some details about the treatment and talk a little bit more about some of the benefits of doing a mini documentary and how hopeful I am that you all continue to work with me and we can complete these things together and hopefully make our city of Oakland a much better place. So hopping on into it, what I want to do is jump into the mini documentary treatment. Treatment is just pretty much kind of like an outline about what's going on. So I'm going to jump into the outline of that, and we're going to go over that together. And if you have any comments, please feel free to email me or leave a comment below, and we can move forward from there. But I'm going to hop on into the purpose. So the purpose of this document is to provide the people of Oakland a creative outlet that yields local influence. What are some hardships that residents regularly face that impair quality of life? What actions can the public take to resolve these issues? Do the solutions in place work in a way that supports the community it serves? These are the questions which we're seeking to answer and hope the resulting documentaries are used by the City of Oakland to improve local services according to community feedback. The City of Oakland uses a call and response system called 311 to regulate requests for maintenance services. Residents are able to submit a formal maintenance request by signing up for 311 by signing up for a 311 account on their Apple or Android device or via the city website. The documentary should identify a local request complaint, capture the process of a resident filing the 311 request, and the final outcome. Self-recorded videos are equally welcomed. So what is that exactly? So these are the mini documentaries that I'm trying to get everybody to actually complete. So what is 311? 311 is a request system in Oakland. If you haven't heard of it, pretty much you can download it on your phone or do it on your computer, and you can take a photo of a problem, and then after you route it to the city, they'll come in and actually fix it. So for example, let's say there's a pothole in your neighborhood. If you have 311 installed, you can take a photo of that pothole, go through that process, and then it'll be logged, and you can actually watch the process as the city kind of completes that project. Now, what I want to do is I want to create mini documentaries, a series of mini documentaries. I'm going to create some. I want you all to create one as well. And what we'll do is we'll have real feedback from the community about how well this system works, what can be improved, and how this whole process works. So that way we can kind of better make sure that this is serving us in the best way possible. So in that process, I want you to know that you're not alone in this. You might be saying, well, Walter, I've never done a documentary before. I don't know how to shoot a documentary. Don't worry about that. I'm going to be here to guide you throughout the way. If you have any questions when you're going through your process, you guys know I'm always available. Walter@blackfilmguild.com. You can reach out to me on social media if you have any other questions. So what I did is I kind of went down here and I have a couple of instructions, outcomes, and questions. So this is just a list of questions you can ask when you're going through that process of your mini documentary. So the first question I always ask people, right, if you're interviewing someone, what's your name and what part of Oakland do you live in? Now, when people are answering these questions, you want to make sure that they're answering it in a full sentence. So let's say, for example, the second question. How long have you lived in Oakland and what keeps you here? So a bad way to kind of answer that would just be saying 15 years, right? And then just kind of like being done with it. But a better way to do it that's more complete, because it'll help you out with the editing process and make it more fluid, is saying something like, I've lived in Oakland for 15 years, and the thing that keeps me here the most is the vibrancy of the community and the culture and XYZ. See how it's a lot longer and it's a lot more fluid? That'll give you more room to kind of navigate with how you edit the project. The third question, what is an ongoing infrastructure concern you notice in your neighborhood? You could say something, they might say something like, an ongoing issue that we have is potholes. I've seen a number of cars that kind of run through the potholes and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So you can kind of see how that can kind of flow. And I really want you to know that these questions that I have listed here are just to kind of help guide you. You don't have to use these questions. You can come up with your own questions. I really want you to be creative with this process, and I'm really excited to see what you guys come up with. So the next question is a really big one. Have you ever heard of Oak 311 or know their mission? So some people you interview might have never heard of 311. They might not know what 311 is about. And it's just where you can kind of coach them and kind of guide them along that process, and just kind of get them to kind of use it. So what maintenance would you like complete in your area? And then here's the next parts that I think are really important. So what you want the person who you're interviewing to do is You want them to call 311 to submit their request, right? You want them to wait a few weeks to report whether or not it was successful or not. And then you want them to describe their experience using the process. So typically what's going to happen is that when you use 311, you're going to have to sign up for a new account. So, the email and the confirmation process and going through the whole process of filing the complaint and how that whole process works. That's the thing that I want you to document in your mini documentary. Now you can be creative in this, but I really want to document how residents are experiencing that. What can be improved? Was it perfect? Right? Those types of things that we can use in order to kind of make sure the system works better for our residents. And then I have some things here in the production section. And this is just kind of like to help you kind of develop your project. So be sure to engage the audience, keep questions tight but essential, and create vivid scenes, right? So let's say, for example, if somebody's walking down the street, maybe you can add some sound effects, some sound effects of maybe leaves crackling or wind kind of in the background. So just think about that when you're doing your production. If you want to do some drone footage, or maybe you want to do some close-ups. There's a whole host of different shot ideas that you can do for your mini documentary. And if you have trouble coming up with different shot ideas, or maybe you have you're stuck, go ahead and give me a call or let me know, and I can help guide you through that process. Just hit me up whenever you might not be sure where to turn. And then in conclusion, the mini documentary should showcase a local Oakland resident within their neighborhood and highlight a current issue they face that the city may be able to solve. In the video, provide an instruction to the Oakland resident and document the process using 311 to make a complaint. Was it seamless? Was it hard to sign up? Was the problem solved? Would they use it again in the future? So document the outcome using the creative filmmaking process and freely share it with the community. Footage between 2 and 5 minutes is recommended, though there is no minimum or maximum duration for the mini documentaries. So that's it. That's the treatment. That kind of gives you a little bit of guide about it. Now, another cool part about this is that there is a reward. I'm giving everybody who completes a mini documentary $200. It's going to be in cryptocurrency, but you can always just convert it to US dollars. And the number one, whoever wins, and we'll have a contest where everybody who participates will vote for the best documentary, will win a gimbal. I have a gimbal that I'm going to give away to the community. So that'll be really cool. Now, the next part that I want to talk about is just like this, the reward aspect and the documentary aspect. This is the coolest part of the project, in my opinion. It kind of makes it all come full circle. So with I received a grant from a blockchain protocol called Near. And so what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be uploading our mini documentaries onto the blockchain. That way they actually will live forever. And what we're going to do once they're uploaded onto the blockchain is that we're going to create something called a certificate of authenticity. So what that does is pretty much just say, hey, this documentary is legitimate. It was created by you. And in order to use this documentary in any way, you have to have a certificate. You have to have the rights to use it. So what's going to happen is that the city is going to purchase the rights to use your video for $200. And what that's going to give them the right to do is use it for different things, like maybe showing the city council or showing a board of directors, or using it in promotional materials, and even using it in how they can shape policy and better serve our community. So this is a whole new landscape and a whole new way that we're engaging people, and that we're kind of creating a relationship between the city and the people that we serve. So I hope that was a really brief kind of update. Oh, I almost forgot one really big thing, is that if you complete a mini documentary, one of the best parts is that you'll be within the Black Film Guild. You can use us as a reference, so a professional reference, and you can always ask me for questions and go out and shoot and all those kind of things. So there's a huge amount of benefits that will come along with shooting this mini documentary, and I'm really hopeful that you all participate. I'm super excited for what you all come up with for your projects, and we'll be in touch. So go out there, go shooting, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. Have a good one.